Okay, so we've got the controller at the default idle display. At this point we've got to decide what kind of firing we're going to do, either a bisque firing or a glaze firing, and whether or not we're going to use a fast or a slow setting. I'm going to go ahead and program slow glaze cone 06. So I'm going to start things off by pressing the slow glaze button, and it's going to try to display slow glaze on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and press enter to acknowledge that. And it's going to show us the last cone that was fired by this kiln, which was a 04. Now I'm going to go ahead and enter 06, and then again press enter to acknowledge it. It's going to ask us if we want to hold, and it's asking us if we want to hold or stay at the peak temperature in the firing. Usually you don't want to hold at the top temperature, but if we did want to enter a hold here, it's to the right of the decimal would be minutes and the left would be hours. So for instance, if I wanted to put a 30-minute hold, I'd enter 30 and then go ahead and press enter, but I don't want to have a hold in there, so I'm going to go ahead and zero that back out, just pressing the zeros and then press enter. So at this point the programming portion is done. What I like to recommend here is that you review the program using the review program button. When you see the information there for the first time, it can be overwhelming because there's a lot of information that comes at you pretty quickly. But the things you want to look for or confirm are that you've got the correct cone, in this case the 06 is shown, and you want to also confirm that you're on the correct setting, so in our case the slow glaze setting. So we'll assume at this point that we've reviewed the program and everything looks good and we're ready to fire. So we're going to go ahead and press start. And you'll see that the control briefly displays on, but then you've no longer got the idle being displayed. Now you've got a constant display of the temperature inside the kiln. If this were a multi-zone kiln, it would display the temperature and it would alternate with TC and the number for the thermocouple it was displaying. So I think the default is TC2, or the middle thermocouple, so it would be displaying TC2 alternating with the temperature inside the kiln. So this kiln's going to go on and run the full profile, and at the end of that it's going to display a complete message. And it's going to be alternating with the firing time as well as the current kiln temperature.